Sorry, last video was disturbed, so I had to enter another one in this continuation to last video, but which was disturbed due to some reason of camera or something. Well, continue, it happens sometimes. I was talking about quality, employer, engineer, and contractor. Just for information refreshing, I already explained. Promoter is a person or a party or a company who is responsible for project financially, quality-wise, quantity-wise, commercially. All losses and profits go into that account. Engineer is a person who is a superintending person, who is a surveillancing person, who, who supervises and who takes value and cost of design, who takes responsibility of design of or its failure. And there are so many views in that connection. And contractor is a company or a person who is responsible for execution or prosecution of that design done by engineer on behalf of contract on owner, and this man on construction contracts implements that design and takes construction responsibility. So there is a triangle, you can say: owner, contractor, engineer. Engineer and owner are on one contract, that is called project management contract, or design and supervision contract, or designer separately and supervision separately. That is management part of project. On other side, other end is engineer and contractor, which is on construction contract or EPC contract. What is construction contract? When design is provided by engineer on engineer's risk and owner's risk. Engineer's risk means engineer is responsible for failure and successful design, whereas financial owner is responsible for financial responsibility as well as all other responsibility. So that is management contract or project engineering contract. And when contract is with contractor and employer is party one, contract is party two, it's called a construction contract. I am talking about construction contract because construction contract is very important contract, because if design is very good and construction contract is not very good, design won't work as it was planned. We have to understand this point. Design is excellent, but construction is rubbish, then there is a failure. Design has got no meaning, but construction is meaningless. If design is excellent and construction is excellent, then it is called product, quality product. This means there is full contribution from engineer or designer, full contribution from contractor and contracting people, and that's called really product, professional product, and honor supports both. We are talking about world of construction in RCC and others, which are generally done in private as well as in public sector. It is done in organizations, big one and small one. It's done on mega projects like refineries and others, which cost hundreds of billions of dollars, as well as on small projects with only few $100, or sorry, few $1,000, or few $10,000. You can say we are talking about that. I will explain to you before about what were activities, what were responsibilities, what work was done, how it was done. In many sequence of lectures and talks, and this you can say episode is moving out. It's not based on theory. It's based on experience, practicality of item. I submitted to you swimming pool. I submitted to you key plans of duties of responsibilities of both parties, contractors and project engineer or engineer. What were responsibilities of engineer? What are responsibilities of resident engineer? What are responsibilities of specialist engineer associated with resident engineer? And what is overall responsibility of engineer and resident engineer? Similarly, on other side, other end, contractor responsibility of contract representatives called site agent or contractors agent, and project manager have responsibilities of associates such as project coordinator and site agents and all foreman workers, etc. I explained to you, and I also explained to you about activities of swimming pool, how swimming is done, what activities are there, how it is constructed, what care they take, and then about buildings, ordinary buildings, foundations, excavations, backfill structures, step columns, footings, etc., etc., and then superstructure. We are doing all that. That was a requirement of information, because until you understand all this, there is no meaning of sequence. And we have many departments in our construction. We can say there is a design department, of course, design review department, there is a project engineering department, there's a project site construction department, and there's a quality department, and there is a safety department, there's a planning department, and there's a cost quantity surveying engineering department, administration department, and say group of people work on such projects depending on size and value of project. That's what we are talking about. I'm giving an elementary idea how it should be done. I cannot go just to give you dynamic idea. Means you are a fresh person or budding engineer, you don't have much experience, you have to learn about how to move, because engineering construction is not small field. It takes time to learn. Only 4 or 5 years of university will not help you in field. In field, you have to concentrate on understanding each and everything. You have to understand design, you have to understand specifications, you have to understand drawings, you have to understand coordination planning, you have to understand services, you have to understand all relevant aspects of each and everything. And then you have to understand course, and you have to understand contracts, and all you have to understand just to make a better engineer, better professor, better lecturer, better talker, better writer, better engineering is, you can say, a manager, and better office engineer, better foreman, but whatever you want to be, accordingly you have to connect yourself to documents. I am not saying you go through all, depending upon your achievement, depending on your capability, depending on your destiny. You have to involve yourself with all that. If you can do all, do all. If you can do only 2 or 3, do 3. It's up to you what caliber you have, how much you want to develop as a professional. Achievement, destination, that's attainment what you want, that's more important. So we can move further. I is explaining to you about activities on superstructure, and that I'll say I had reached somewhere. Yes, I was somewhere on buildings, and it was let us. I'll start from. I continue from which there was a. I had told about slabs, and I said that engage a steel fixer on the slab forms and carpet look after. Yes, it was during. It was preparatory work for slab, and we were talking about that. And I just started, this is for 35. Arrange for items as included in checklist. Now I had explained this, but again I continue there, because we have to pour slab, suspended slab, complicated work, and that must be clearly understood before we take risk. It's, it's something you can say sequential requirement. Arrange for items as included in checklist means you must have checklist for that work, preparatory work. Arrange for items as included in checklist and be available at time of inspection as those included in the request form. Checklist shall include ready mix or mixer on site, pump or tower or mobile crane, water and hose pipes, pumps, concrete vibrators, and also standby compressors, wheelbarrows according to requirements, hand shovel, concrete dumpers, trolleys when concrete is to be transported from site batches, concrete skips, teeth, hand shovels, hessians impregnated water, drums full of water, polythene rolls, hand-by plastic buckets, wire brushes, split labels, artisans' tools for masons and carpenters, steel fixers, pliers, slump upon managed arrangement to cubes, 6 number or more, thermometers, weather, temperature, and measuring tape, etc. All that we have to refer list to of artisans requirements. Then it was make a start to supervise every operation to specification of concrete laying and maintain all records, taking a slump, temperature, cubes, transportation time of the transit mixer, and all shall be entered in concrete record register. Tabulating as pour number, section, grids, floor, element, quantity, and concrete grade, temperature, slumps, time of a concrete arrival, time of departure of the transit mixer, pour placement, the temperature, 7th day and 28th day, cube compressive strength, remarks of a laboratory technician, remarks of consultants, structural engineer, details of supply invoices, dockets, source of supply, date of form striking especially, date on which a form is struck, date on which curing is stopped, details of disputes in concrete elements, results of a hammer test or static load test, and any other test as demanded by engineer, resident engineer, and all other informations site agent and engineer, resident engineer deem fit to be included for specific references to be used by future inquiry commission during the miscarriage of structural elements or structure as a whole. I already talked to you yesterday, just as for refreshing and overlapping of my talk. then clear all latencies and spread saturated Hessian and polythene or curing compound of a compound clear side for 12 hours and inspect the surface next day and visually examine the formation of cracks. If a considerable cracks are found, discover the contact resident engineer for further inspection and advise minor hair cracks do not create a major problem. Grout cracking surface with recommended reason by standard pumping of chemicals or other remedial measures as specified to resorption. Cure well and construct upstands if any. Carry out works of columns of first floor to second floor and before this exercise should have been transferred from ground to first floor and setting of all columns done accordingly. Construction of 100 mm kickers are advised for better work. Refer standard sketches. I'll show you sketches. In case some fascia works are detailed, that shall be carried out prior to commencement of beams and suspended slabs works after finish of columns structures. Refer to sketch. I'll show you sketch. Similarly, structural concrete frame can be raised to any level, subject to erection of a strong and well-gripped scaffoldings all around the building profile, provided with working platforms railed and safety net provided. I'll speak this three. Similarly, structural concrete frame can be raised to whatever levels subject to erection of a strong and well-gripped scaffolding system all around the building profile, provided with working platforms, railed and safety net provided from that angle. Now, some specifications suggest, now I'm saying is, some specifications suggest stripping of slab, removal of shutters, you can say. Some specifications recommend the stripping of slabs of the shutters after 3 days of pouring or casting, provided the props remain intact, but practically it is a very difficult operation to take out shutters after a specified time for striking for slabs. De-shuttering or removal of shutters or striking of shutters shall be carried out carefully and sight clear the fall debris. Green surface should be closely inspected. The green surface, I mean to say, surface which is just removed when shuttering is when shuttering is removed from surface, that is called the green surface. Green surface should be closely inspected to find out honeycombing or void in concrete, opening of forms or shutters of beams or slab, or some other defect, and remedial works are carried out as instructed by resident engineer or as agreed with the structural engineer after being informed and holding inspections. So inspection is a must. Don't know the someone. Inspection is a must by yourself and then by your client or your consultant. Now, what is there actually is too common in field that foreman or other irresponsible person, or even less caliber site engineer to protect the skin, professional skin or face skin, shall hide the defect by plastering it in rich cement mortar and roughening with a Haitian cloth. But this is not acceptable. This is really unsuccessful cheating, as the same shall be visible as separate surface. Yes, visible as separate surface, and the site engineer shall be caught by resident engineer or structural engineer during a visit or sound, and shall add to lose and as to loss of trust on contractor's part, which really be avoided, must be avoided. Is therefore better. It's therefore better to resort to professional way and resort to let me hold it up. Resort to approved concrete remedial procedures or measures to maintain professional trust, because professional trust is very important. It is not easy to hold it continuously. If you lose a professional trust, means you lose your confidence, your face value, and the face value is very important in discipline of engineering. You see, you have to consider one point. You are working for project, and other people are also working for same project. Engineer is also working for that project, and it is in interest of project and your interest that you make your reputation in market, you build reputation, you deliver good work, you There are lapses, there are defects. Always it happens that your work may not be very good, or there's workmanship problem, or lack of controls. But it doesn't mean that you try to hide it. If you try to hide it, means you try to hide yourself and your workers. Everybody has a right to learn if there are mistakes. Consultants are also not gods. You are also not that. Mistakes do happen. Only way is, yes, you spend money on your material, but you defected, means you did not do according to compliance of requirements. You did not comply with. Only way is there was some lapse because hundreds people do there, and you cannot check each and everything, and people are having different controls, all peoples. So you must check, you must investigate yourself, you must examine yourself what was wrong. And if you think they can be repaired by spending a little money, don't worry. Talk to those people who are responsible for supervision. This happens. You will not be thrown out of job. You're not going to jail for that. If there's no accident or something, you just talk, have confidence, discuss procedure, write it, approve it, and do it. So simple. It may take maybe hardly half a day for one man or two men to do that. Just to save that, just to hide something. So hiding is not recommended. Be clear. If you tell something this is wrong, okay, we want to correct this way, nobody will say no. Because they say you are yourself responsible. You are doing self-quality, internal quality. Do not depend upon even quality engineer. You tell him also that we have done wrong, we are doing it right. What's wrong with that? If you do something, there are chances it not be correct exactly 100%, but it is 95% correct, or it is 98% correct. So do not worry about that. Try to restore quality. That is what important. You have spent money on material, you have spent money on resources, you have money on equipment. You have to spend time. You know what to do. It doesn't mean you don't know, but there was some lapse. Simple, it's simple. Why are you running away? Why you tell us, do it, consultant is not coming, do it, I'm here, don't worry. What is that? Are you working for yourself? You are working for a project. One mistake you do and you repair it, it will teach you and your people. It will teach you and consultant. It will teach you everyone. And they will not repeat same in future because they know it is expensive. You spend time, you spend cost, you can say, you spend your reputation. You are spending so much wealth on that, time, cost, quality. They are spending so much on that. So why are you running away? Don't run away. Yes, we have done this. This is here, show it. Record it if you want to this. This is called lesson learned. This is part of management. We learn this much. So one mistake shall stop you 100 mistakes. One mistake shall stop your 100 mistakes. That's it. So don't be afraid, don't scare of that. No, I am now going to study. I am so read. Sometimes, measures about certain defects which I am reading now. It is honeycomb surface. I am talking about concrete. Honeycombing is there. It means surface looks holes, pinholes are there, voids are there. This means it was not well vibrated. It was vibrated, I think, over vibrated. It was like that. All slurry, cement slurry, liquid has gone out, and rough surface is there, hollow surface. A kind of, you can say, porous surface is there. How to handle it? It is called honeycomb surface, and it says remove weak concrete. Concrete is weak. This is not dense. This is not well compacted. So remove weak concrete till hard concrete base is reached, and let that be inspected by resident engineer or quality engineer as procedure allows. Shutter that surface in original profile grout in rich mortar, cement slurry, pour concrete of richer mix manually, compact well and close opening till hardening. This type of defect is generally observed in columns near bases. What happens? You are say pouring column of 3.5 meter or 4 meter. It generally happens when you use pumping concrete or even mobile machine, mobile pump. We do not cast 1 meter, 1.5 meter in advanced concrete work, advanced technology work. We generally cast up to 4 meters and sometimes more, where thickness is more. So what happens? Say you are casting 4 meter, 3 to 4 meter height of column in one go in layers. Your vibrator has to reach that location, lowest point, just that kicker or start the location. You must have that length of vibrator which you can have, that's not a big problem. But what happens when they pour, it's difficult for them to see at that point, or they even don't bother about that. What they do, they just pour one mix into that, one batch into that, and then they take it to another column, and then you cannot pour more than 40 centimeter in one go. It depends upon depth, length of needle of vibrator. If that needle cannot reach whole height of concrete in one layer, you cannot compact it well. So what happens by is ignorance actually. You pour one column in 40 centimeter or 400 millimeter, then you go to other one, and then you go to other one, or you have to apply vibrator immediately. When you apply vibrator, either previous construction joint that is started was not well hacked or scabbled or not prepared, or your vibrator failed to work there, which or it worked too much, both are there. In both cases, if it applies more, this water liquid goes out. You can say cement slurry, cement liquid goes out of, of concrete, or you can say segregation, it happens. Segregation happens, or in case of lack of vibration, hollow is left, it's not properly compacted. In both cases, concrete is porous. This means it is not concrete, it is something else, which is having no strength in this, no compressive strength, and no other strength. This portion of concrete must be taken out. Hardened concrete must be taken out. And that what I explained to you in this solution, because that is generally seen on sites. And moreover, you cannot hide any defect in column because it's going to take maximum load of that floor. That cannot be taken risk of. And even if it's not going to take quality as quality, you have to make an understanding about that. So this I explained to you. Again, I speak this because it's important to understand. Remove weak concrete by chipping or scabbling till you get a profile of hard concrete base. You reach there and inspect it properly. Let it be inspected by resident engineer. Then form surface of that portion into its original profile as it was, and then use grout of rich mortar or epoxy or cement slurry, and then pour concrete into that portion. You can do it ordinarily or you can do it by construction chemical. This depends upon you. Epoxy application is also a solution, as well as fill up concrete is also a solution. Properly compact and close it till it is hardened, and then remove form, and this be approved. Then is voids and surfaces. Voids. Voids and surfaces. Surfaces, concrete surfaces. Due to inadequate compaction, I mean to say vibration, Due to inadequate compaction in last batch, the following sequences, in last batch before long interval of time, and delivery of new or next batch due to any probable reason, due to whatever reason, and also foreman's negligence in supervising operation to specifications. Again, I read this so that you can not confuse yourself. Due to inadequate compaction in large last batch before long interval of time during concrete and delivery of new or next batch due to whatever probable reason and due to foreman's negligence in supervising operation to specifications. Sometimes what happens? Some voids are left, chipped weak mass of concrete there where voids are left. Chipped weak mass of concrete because concrete is weak due to voids. Chip concrete out and expose reinforcement. Then prepare surface and let it be inspected by quality and resident engineer, and then pour new rich concrete to specifications in that portion by forming shutters. In case chipping and concreting are not feasible due to membrane being thin, apply epoxy mortar in that volume, that portion, which must be approved before application, and it engineer let the engineer approve it, and according to manufacturer instruction, work should be done in layers, not exceeding vertically 15 to 20 mm thickness, and all specifically meant for this. That material must be approved. That procedure you have to follow according to manufacturer instructions. No way to deviate it. Then you can follow further because it will cure itself. It's epoxy. And then excessive use of epoxy is also not recommended, not good, due to extra cost and expenses to be borne by contractor, as well as different modulus of elasticity value in case volume of epoxy is permitted. Then we have the bulging or opening of forms. But this one I told you about this why it is important because let us see what happens. Actually, same thing happens. You can say lack of cooperation on site or lack of sequence, and people are tired and they forget actually what they did last batch. There's a gap. One batch is delivered now, and it was expected to deliver 5 to 10 minutes. It's not delivered even for 1 hour due to some reason or 2 hours, and people forget at that time point of time to apply vibrator, and then they will apply when next batch comes, and next batch takes time, and they forget. So they pour concrete on that one, which is not actually compacted. And the result is that uncompacted concrete means is there and that is void. Means there should be good supervisor who has attention every time, or foreman who immediately applies vibrator after we pour into that the levels it there by vibrator itself. So there will be less chances of voids formation, but it happens actually. Who are working, supervisor is working, foreman, they are not very concentrated people. They are like dynamic, they are thing, but hundreds of batches of concrete arrive. And after all, they are human beings, they forget, or you cannot blame them directly because there is no one. Some okay, I'll do it next time, let them batch come because they have sit I cannot get up. It happens. Or sometimes they put off vibrator itself. Why to burn diesel? Put it off, they start again. And when you put it off means who will start it again? Let them do it. They do not understand concrete technology. It's not their fault. And those who understand, engineer and engineer and the supervisor or site engineer, they are maybe sitting in an office room enjoying tea and coffee or some other. This generally happens. After all, this is practical work. Ideal world is something else as practical, it's a different one. So I explained to you that one. Now I'm talking of bulging or opening of forms. Now you can say this is also a common defect, being result of providing inadequate supports to vertical sides of forms and mispositioning braces or scantlings. Scantlings. Bulged surfaces shall be chipped out to plumb. In real bulge surface, chances of reinforcement to buckle are rare if later placed well. Buckling the surface of concrete buckles or comes out of line. You have to control that. Now, how to control that? You must chip it out. Yes, you can chip it out. No problem. Chip it out and make it again. If it's plasterable. If it's not plasterable, there's no plaster on that, problem lies there. If surface is not going to receive any finish, only paint. This happens in fair-faced concrete, where you're not going to cover it with any protective material like plaster. It's to be painted or to be applied with epoxy or something. This means surface should be in line, in plumb, in size, dimensions. There a big problem means you cannot accept bulging or honeycombing or any other kind of defect. That problem is huge. Maybe you have to remove that element, do it again because it's fair face. Fair face or architectural elevation, many issues are there. Now, as skeleton of building is clear, skeleton means the framework of building is clear from building to buildings in whatever complex or floor to floor in whatever building. Following activities in sequence such as walls construction, ordinary and cavity wall, either in bricks or in concrete block, be carried out simultaneously fabricating opening frames in shops or factory. What is this actually? What is framing? First of all, we have to understand what is framing of building. We can go further talking, but what is framing of building? What does it mean? Do we understand that? Frame and no frame, they are two types of building. When you construct ordinary building using brick walls or block walls from foundations, in foundation also, you are not taking any footings or any raft, but just putting your spreader type wall or brickwork foundation in steps and then raising building on brick wall or block wall and then putting a slab directly on that and then doing again on top, first floor, second floor. That is not framed structure, this ordinary structure, old time structure. Another one talking is where there is foundation of RCC, footings, isolated footings, independent footings, or combined footings, or you can say raft foundation or strip foundation. And above that, you are taking columns in foundation, that's called the stub columns, and then ground to first floor, same columns, beams, and slabs. Slabs, I have to say, suspended slabs, and then continuing on all floors like that. That is called framed structure in 3 dimensions. Framing of foundation. When you consider ground floor, framing of foundation and columns and beams and suspended slabs. That is frame. Then second, first, third, and all that. Frame means a continuation of structural members so that a unit is formed. Building works as unit and not as individual members, not as isolated members, columns, beams, suspended slab, foundation, slabs, all that in x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. This unit is called a structural unit. It has to transfer actions of loads of forces onto this coming from live load, dead load, or seismic load, wind load, thermal loads, whatever sort of load are not accepted, are not received only by one member, but according to sizes, according to calculations, according to how force should move, how stresses should go, all members share responsibility. Columns, beams, slabs, load of slab, or you can say horizontal diaphragm, that load goes to beams, and then load from beams go to actions, from beams go to columns, and from columns to further to foundations, ground. And if you take it from top, all load come to each other, down, 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 and down. There will be bending moment, there will be, you can say, direct load, bending moment, shear force, wind forces, seismic forces, and all that. These are taken by all members of that building, and building of frames in both directions, x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, three directions. That is called framing. So we have to be clear about framing. It's not an ordinary structure. It's a structure that works together, and that's why unity of all members is a must. If fixity is required, joint should be fixed. If semi-fixed, pin to pin. Continuity of all joints is a must. If continuity doesn't exist, that is not unit. If continuity exists, then you can assume and reassume, and you can distribute loading whatever way in designs. But we are talking of site. So first we have to understand what framing is. This is framing. It should be monolithic as far as possible. Monolithic is one-time casting. Yes, that's not possible, we know. If you are casting foundations, better you cast in one go as much as possible, because it's difficult. If you are able to cast columns and beams and slabs together, you can cast it, no problem, but it's not possible. What happens? It's called monolithic, means the same unit. It is after artificial stone. If you cast same time, it's better. But that's not practically possible. So no problem. You cast columns as much as possible one time. You generally suspended slab and beams or downstands are cast one time. This happens. And sometimes some cases slabs and upstands also are cast one time. It's difficult, but it's done. That's what I will take about this. So I just wanted to explain framing. So I explained. Now we are going to, all this is what is a skeleton of building, anatomy of building. As a skeleton of building is cleared from building to buildings in whatever complex or floor to floor in whatever building, following activities in sequence, such as wall construction, ordinary and cavity walls, either in bricks or in concrete block, we carried out simultaneously, fabricating opening frames in shops or other factory. Oh, what is cavity wall? Be clear about that. You know that, but actually, what is purpose? Why we provide cavity? And it's done in those walls with external one and exposed together, particularly there. And it's generally provided in hot areas. And why it's provided is the external wall as well as the internal wall. There are two walls in cavity. Maybe one is full 200 mm and one is 100 mm. This is provided in external walls. Of course, it takes more area of room, but purpose is different. There is air conditioning management, there is thermal management, both are these. You are providing air conditioning, centralized air conditioning area, so that there's cavity, there's one external skin, there's an internal skin. Both block walls are there, and there's a cavity in between, 50 mm cavity or whatever design 100 mm, you take it. In that cavity, you have to fill polystyrene, extruded polystyrene or expanded polystyrene. You fill into that. Then you have to join both cavities wall ties using wall ties. Cavity walls, we can say wall ties are there, which you can say in 1 square meter average 3 numbers. This generally, you get certain spacing, 40 50 centimeter spacing or 60 centimeters, and horizontally and vertically both, so that all these layers at 3 layers, say, or 2 layers of courses of block work are connected together. This cavity ties connect both walls, and this polystyrene remains in between in cavity. So there is thermal insulation, there is maybe sound insulation, and you produce air condition, which is efficient one. This is cavity wall. Only external, where we receive weather, exposed to weather, and it's in walls, not in internal walls. There's nothing as such. So this is function of cavity walls, and of course it's expensive, but wherever is required, you want to take maximum efficiency from your air conditioning system, HVAC, you have to do this for you can say better circulation of air, better use of AC, optimum use of AC. Now we'll go further. Now I say wall cladded between columns. Wall cladded means this block wall is sometimes called cladding also, because it is infill, it is not a structural unit. When columns are there, beams are there, framing is there, this is called infill by block work or by brick work or by certain other meaning. It can be wall lining. So wall cladded between columns shall be connected to columns, right? Wall cladded between columns shall be connected to columns by inserting wall ties and shot fire in concrete. In fourth course, repeatedly, in cavity walls, externally cavity ties shall be installed per specifications, as I explained to you earlier. Cavity may be insulated by providing intruded polystyrene of specified thickness and density or some other material approved by engineer. Now what it says, we are connecting, it has two issues now. One is wall ties, that I said cavity wall, and now it's connection to column and wall. We said polystyrene is expanded polystyrene or intruded polystyrene, as it says, and connection to wall and connection to wall and column, RCC column. Another ties there, wall ties we call it, not cavity ties. That wall tie connects column and wall in position where mortar remains, in mortar position. Means it has to hold cavity wall and column. One point is there, is hold one, and this hold is for purpose of shot firing. There are bullets and gun. With the shot fire, this cavity, sorry, not cavity, this wall tie. For example, the technic tiles are the meta tiles. I'm not taking names of trade person. I'm just explaining to you. Just called cavity wall ties. You shot it fire to column surface, and this remains the permanent. Maybe 600 mm spacing. In both sides, both columns. So this holds this. In our country here, I have not seen this, but this we have done a lot in Gulf countries, in Doha, in Abu Dhabi. It's common, it's done. And then brick was laid. Brick block was laid. Block will talk later on. Actually, blocks, hollow blocks are used for that. Hollow blocks means it is void in blocks. There are two types of blocks, solid blocks and hollow blocks. Generally, in such situation, we use hollow blocks because first of all, these are light and we fill it with concrete. And also we can use where reinforcement is required. So this is general construction of block work, concrete block wall, which are say 7 Newton is strength or 9 Newton in strength, 9 Newton per millimeter square, and this is dependent on that. This is not concrete strength, this is block strength, just remind it please. Don't confuse yourself. When I say 7 Newton or say 9 Newton, this is not concrete strength, this is a block area strength. Means per square area of block, this is strength. I mean per square, 7 Newton means if you take that area and apply this, you get strength of block. So it is generally double, you can say. If it is 7 Newton, maybe 15 Newton concrete, maybe 9 Newton, 28 Newton, like that it is. Well, we'll take it later on, we'll now move further. So what I said, wall cladded between columns shall be connected to columns by inserting wall tiles. It's short fire inserting, not directly inserting. Short fire in concrete in fourth course repeatedly. In cavity walls externally, cavity ties shall be installed according to specifications. Cavity may be insulated by providing an intruded polystyrene of specified thickness and density or some other material approved by engineer. Then is plastering. You say carry out plastering as usual and to detailed specification. But plastering we will not do like that. Return is because of some there's no selectivity, but plastering you have to take care of services as well. Electric conduits must go into that. If there is some other services required, plumbing must be there. Whatever is there, that's just information I'm telling you. It's only activity. And make sure that fabrication of AC ducts works are in progress. In shop, engineering or air conditioning shop, workshops, all parallel work activities must go. This is only for information. When you are doing wall work, you should be ready for duct work for HVAC. This means parallel activity off-site or on-site must be ongoing. Now, what I said, as I explained in plastering issue, take care that electrical, I said it here, take care that electrical conduits and switches and sockets are run in walls during construction, or chasing by electrical grinder be carried out, chasing of root of pipes carried out before plastering is done. After enough area of plastered surface is available to permit engineering subcontractor to commence mobilization, contact foreman engineering and let engineering first fix activity be commenced with. Ducts shall be raised and installed duly insulated with glass fiber and painted with vapor seal for engineering specifications. This is simple statement, but it's very hard working. Means you have to prepare walls first for receiving plasters, which means there are two ways. One wall, one conduit has to come from floor, you may say, for lower sockets, for sockets at level of 400 mm or 300 mm from floor level. That can be telephone sockets, that can be low power socket, that can be power socket, that can be any point which are coming through floors, means down slab, you can say, and that route is required. There's a route from a slab also on top, which may come down to switch panel level where you use it. This conduiting is also done where there are down pipes, pump conduits from slab down upper slab, and these are coming down to switch panel or where a point of dimmer light or control of fan or control of AC or whatever points are there, light points or a split unit point or whatever point is there, that switch panel up to that point, down conduits would come from slab, and from bottom floor points would come for lower power point. These conduit routes have to be located and chased out. This of course shall be done by electrical person, but chasing out to be done by civil person, chasing out the walls according to direction by that person. And this is lot of work. Everywhere points are there. This electrical work, this will be many conduits in every room. And then this is about conduits, and there may be sanitary connections, of course. There will be AC. If AC is internally located, it is internal, there will be condensate drain of AC also. That can be taken out. That is taken out. And then also plumbing, I told you, is about HVAC and could be any other service, whatever service is there. This is embedment work, post-wall erection, and this has to be worked. And there some building other maybe some services for hospitals are there, or industrial. In industrial building, some changing is not done because this all surface oriented, surface mounted piping is there. But in some other way, where there is a huge, you can say, utilities are there in hospital units or some other units where we have many types of services, too much chasing in, or if there's no block work you have to do, you have to apply wall lining there, there's gypsum lining or cement lining, all those temporary partitions done, and that is the chasing is required there as well. Everywhere it works, so we have to be very careful. So electrical chasing, and if required by AC work, by HVAC work, that is also done. So this is called coordination, chasing, coordination work, and until all these are clear on those walls, you cannot say it's ready for receiving plaster. Even if by mistake you do that, you do one coat of plaster and you don't care for this, then you have to chip plaster also. That's what you have to see. And once you fit these pipes and your boxes for panels without cover, you have to protect them so that mortar of plaster should not be entered. They should be covered either with polystyrene or by some other method, whatever this AC guy or electrical guy likes. So we have to move further. I say, and so I just explain again. As explained in activity number, this plastering, take care that electrical conduits and switches and sockets or panels are run. All run involved during construction or chasing by electrical grinder. Don't do it by hammer, hammer and chisel. Electrical grinder only. Shall be carried out before plastering is done, and that may be in line, not haphazard. After enough area of plastered surface is available, and also I told you this water piping are done in that galvanized pipe or other pipes, insulated pipes. Horror also is required. After enough area of plastering surface is available to permit mechanical engineering or HVAC subcontractor to commence with mobilization, contact that person, foreman, and let him start his job. And all duct fabrication work, that may be extract duct or supply duct, because supply duct are insulated one, extract ducts are not insulated one, that must be carried out in parallel, either on site or in somewhere else where their work is ongoing. Then very close watch on coordinations need be done. Close cooperation and close watch and close surveillance. It's not that you inspect each and every, but keep your watch on that. Then electrical guy, let electrical person finish operations of fixing trunkings, which are at near you can say 2.1 meter level or above. A trunking carries cable. It's called cable trunking. Let electrical person finish operation of fixing trunkings, and it's the cable trunking, and cable trays. Trays and trunking both are there. On tray you can take many exposed cables. Let electrical person finish the operations of fixing trunking and cable trays, fixing all according to electrical specifications and requirement. Then simultaneously, operations in stairs must have been finished for progressing, because stair has to give you leave for next floor. Major part of building construction in civil engineering practices over an RCC frame, skeleton, plastering, block wall, in cladding and partitions, etc. These have been completed. These are civil items. First fix of all allied services shall go as routine. So what it says, we had foundation we finished, we have columns, we have framing structure we finished that one. Walling we have finished, plastering we have finished. You may say structural elements which are load-bearing structures or not load-bearing structures. For example, walls physically are over. This means services can move freely there. Activities related to services can move without any hindrance or obstacle. And you may say, mobilize yourself for commencement of architectural finishes, because you have done structural items. Architectural finishes which depend upon progress of service items. These architectural finishes operations such as fixing frames in openings. You have fixed frames of openings, window door frames, marking of levels for flooring, fixing in positions, all that unlimited, you can say. Door frames, window frames, and all activities by that building shall be granted to status of weatherproof. Yes, weatherproof. A stage of weatherproof means when building is not affected by weather inside from outside. A kind of seal that you have done structural element, you have done walling element, you have done windows, doors, and that is weather is not going to affect your building when you are inside. Carry out flooring operation in dry areas. Flooring operation. Let plumbing person fix installations trapped in wet areas. So, wet area means where water is involved, and dry area means there is no water involved. Example, toilet, bathroom, WC are wet areas. Where sink is involved, that area is also wet, but all other areas are dry areas. Carry out operations of skirtings, wall tilings, flooring work according to details as approved in coordination or coordinated working drawings per architectural requirement. Generally, ceiling or suspended ceiling or false ceiling, man shall short fire wire hangers at that stage to avoid inconvenience later when ducts are in position. This is point of clash. False ceiling or suspended ceiling is very important items where services run in ceiling, and generally structural height is more than 3 meters. It may be up to 4 meters, it may be 3.5 to 4 meters. Where AC ducts are running, HVAC ducts, supply ducts, or extract ducts. Where some other sanitary pipes are also running, water pipes may also be running, or some other services may also be there. What happens there? There may be medical services also in this hospital building. In that case, there are so many services in roof, and those must be concealed. You cannot allow some occupant of that area to see those services. We have to close them. We have to close them, say at drop height from ceiling soffit, from slab soffit, say 1 meter or 1.2 meter, depending upon a 40 or 50, 60 centimeter, whatever is good for you. That volume, that space which hides these services is called plenum, whatever you may call it, means it's up to you. These services must be concealed. HVAC services ducts and other services. But you have to conceal by what? You have to conceal this by false ceiling. It's called false ceiling or suspended ceiling, or by some other name you may, but these are technical names, these are architectural names. And because you have to provide false ceiling, so suspended ceiling, there may be tiled one, or there may be some other item, aluminum tile or some other fibers tile. You have to hang them by a system, by a framework, light framework. And this hanger composed of wires, which wires must be hung at anchorage point of slab. This means a hanging frame is the hanging frame of suspended or false ceiling, and that wire must be fixed to slab, and that can be fixed only by short firing. This means once you hang your ducts, there may be no space between ducts that you can hang these wires due to many narrow space available. So you have to prepare reflected ceiling plans in advance and show locations of tiles and framing, and then before starting ducts in full swing, you have to short fire these wires so that later there will be no problem to fire them, to short them there, to connect to them. That is what I'm saying. Before duct work is over or started, you have to fix the short firing wires. That's what is coordination of. Then what I'm saying is uh, generally ceiling, suspended ceiling, man shall short fire wires hangers at this stage to avoid inconvenience later when ducts are in position. Drawing in wires, this electrical item. Drawing wires in conduits cast in suspended slabs and in walls shall be commenced with all switches and points boxes shall be installed. Drawing wire is also an activity. Now hanger wires for light illuminations. Hanger wire for light illuminations shall be short fired to soffit of slab according to coordinated drawings of false ceilings, reflected ceiling plans. So one was short firing of suspended system and other is short firing of electrical lights, or if there's something else also. Now roofing works or items shall be carried out simultaneously because there is no sequence in that, there is no link in that. Roofing is done on a slab roof. I mean to top roof of building, whatever that is roofing, is no connection to other slabs. Roofing work shall be carried out parallel. That is what is in that. In that there are different activities. Marking plinth for machines, basis and scabbling of slab surface. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to set out marking for plinths of machines, means there may be a rendering unit, there may be chiller unit, or there may be other units for machines required extra, which plinths must be constructed before roofing is started. And that plinth is of ordinary concrete, maybe some mesh in that BRC, but that has to be connected to slab. So that portion must be scabbled out, that concrete must be chipped out so that exposed aggregates are available, and then you have to work on that one plinth. Then construction of plinth wherever required, so you have to do that. Which is how it is done? Is done scabbling completed surface of roof slab if not done before. You have to scabble out whole surface. For purpose, I'll do what purpose is. Scabbling completed surface of roof slab if not done before. If had done before, no, that would not be required, but it's not done. So how it is done? Cleaning and laying mortar. Then you have to clean all surface. You have to clean all surface, scabble surface. This is lightly scabbled, okay? You have to clean and lay out and laying mortar 1/6. 1:6 or any other mix as specified in compartments distribution of which already agreed with resident engineer in an overall gradient of 1:1.5% or 550 mm minimum to 200 maximum as case may be. I explain to you what I'm talking about. You have uppermost slab which is roof. Flat roof I'm not talking of pitched roof. You have slab here, top portion of slab. It should be roughened, chipped out. You have constructed plinths of all equipment. Now, what actually is required? I'm talking of structure of roof. It's generally called waterproofing. It is generally called waterproofing. Some name is there upside down or like that. We are going to prepare that one. The slab is roughened, is ready, cleaned. What we have to do, we have to decide what gradient should be there or slope you may say. Generally 1.25 to 1.5% of area. I mean, so where there's a flow of water, rainwater from up to drain of downtake, whereas a drain is outlet where water shall go down. That portion, whatever distance it is, 1.25% to 1.5% slope is given. Good slope. At point where water has to come down, that location outlet should be minimum 50 mm base. And their highest point, which I say that they reached once was 1.5% or 1.25% slope is there. This should be 200 mm minimum. So 50 mm to 200 minimum is a slope of 150. The downfall of 150 mm or whatever it is, and it is in all profile of slab. It depends upon how many outlets you are taking. Many more outlets mean you have to give different type of profile on that slab, and that is technical job. You have to fix, see on site how it done, and that profile must be achieved in theory. Just mark points on that, and then important is that portion has to be filled up with light mortar. You can say a kind of semi dry or semi wet mortar, and in parts you have to make base for that, and that mortar is to be filled in alternate base, and whole slab is done like that. This is called a kind of structural formulation using mortar in that whole profile, so that slope is ready for flow of water, and on this we will do waterproofing. So So it is cleaning and laying of mortar layer 1:6 or any other mix as specified in compartments. So when I'm saying compartment means alternate base, distribution of which already agreed with resident engineer in an overall gradient of 1.5% or 50 mm minimum to 200 mm maximum, as it is, as case may be. If it's a small size, then you have to give 200 mm. If it's more than that, it depends upon on your site conditions. It doesn't mean you cannot cross 200 mm. You can go depending upon, because such roofs are generally not accessible. These are only used for purpose of services of buildings or some other reason, maintenance. Generally, people don't go there. All right, okay. And triangular section mortar shall be spread along edges of roof to facilitate turning of roof torch waterproofing membrane to be sealed in chase. All edges where parapet is there, parapet and slab connection, that edge shall be filled with triangular mortar, same mortar which is used for this fill. That has to be done in triangular fillet, so that your waterproofing membrane is taken through on that up to your chase done in parapet for connection. You see, when you see sketch, you will understand this. And it is a triangular section mortar shall be spread along edges of roof to facilitate turning of roof towards waterproofing membrane to be sealed in chase. All right. After this, application of waterproofing. Application of waterproofing roof torch. Roof torch, why I am calling roof torch? Because it's a fire application. That is called torch. Application of waterproofing roof torch with specified overlaps. Specified means we have to overlap all standard size of membrane when you connect other one. Overlap must be given there. Application of waterproofing roof torch with specified overlaps, and before that all supporting chiller pipes. We are laying membrane, you have to take care of chiller pipes also, which I forgot to tell before. There are chiller pipes moving on certain small height stands. Those must be connected to slab. So all right, application of waterproofing roof torch with specified overlaps, and before that all supporting chiller pipes, if needed, shall be provided with supporting steel brackets embedded in mortar and shot fired to slab, as also all electrical isolators as well as all other requirements be completed before torch is started, completed, inspected and approved. So it is so simple. You can see again, application of waterproofing roof torch with the specified overlaps, and before that all supporting chiller pipes, if needed, shall be provided with the supporting steel brackets embedded in mortar and shot fire to slab, as Also, all electrical isolators as well as all other requirements should be completed before torch is started, completed, inspected and approved. Before torch means waterproofing torch, torch applied waterproofing and approved. Let waterproofing torch, let waterproofing roof torch, I mean to say membrane, the waterproofing membrane is laid over entire roof, including machines, plinths and chased in parapet, put to 72 hours water test by flooding entire surface of waterproofing with 25 mm minimum standing water all over or as agreed with engineer or specified, particularly if no leakage is available, no leakage is visible from any part of slab in this 72 hours, test shall be approved. In case considerable leakage is noticed, water from roof shall be drained out. All water outlets must have been water sealed before allowing water test, flooding, and remedial works to roof torch carried out till satisfactory test is carried out and approved. This is tedious exercise. As I said, you did mortar, you did your AC pipe supports, you did everything, and you apply the application, torch application of waterproofing. Waterproofing is ready, and then you have to ensure that water doesn't stagnate there. For that, you have to conduct water test. You have to fill all surface. You have to fill only means you have to close all outlets of rainwater first, close them and also that water if when it's stagnant it has to remain stagnant, only it remains stagnant if you close seal all outlets. Once you close outlets then you can fill that area with water, and it says that minimum thickness of water is 25 mm at lowest point, and the highest point, this means on lowest point it will be more because there is slope, so you have to fill roof with that, whole area with that, and then wait for 72 hours. And during this time, you have to see where there's leakage, what is that point. There can be leakage. If there can be leakage down, you can see only from floor lower means below slab, below soffit. You cannot see from above. If there's a leakage, you find something here. This means the torch is not working or your waterproofing is not working. If you find some leakage, you have to drain out water and you have to repair that portion, and if by injection or by other means, and after that you test this, and a stage may come when there is no leakage at all from that slab, and that's called final final, you can say. When I said last time that you have to correct it, it was injection for what? Injection not for concrete. Repair of this waterproofing surface, water membrane surface. You have to apply some more or apply overlapping one to seal that, apply patch on that. So this membrane is perfect one, and when you fill it again, there should be no leak. Again, you have to wait for 72 hours, and you have to do it repeatedly until you get perfect waterproofing. And you should remember that this waterproofing membrane has to remain there at least for 10 years because there is a warranty of 10 years. And waterproofing is very strong part of roof because it prevents water to enter by leakage into inside of building. So it'll move further, and then water test is there. And so in case I say this, in case considerable leakage is noticed, water from roof shall be drained out. All water outlets must have been water sealed before allowing water being flooded, and remedial works to be roof torch carried out till satisfactory test is carried out and approved. Okay, we'll go further now. Once roof waterproofing membrane torch when is approved, it is liable to be damaged. Therefore, it shall be covered immediately. All machines shall be installed before commencement of roof torch. That's what I said before. Because plans were ready, so install machines for us. All machines shall be installed before commencement of roof. Installation means mounting actually. It's not connection, mounting. When we place on plinth, whatever machine is called mounted. It shall be covered immediately. All machines shall be installed before commencement of roof torch application work. This means there shall be that plinth portion of machine be waterproofed too, and that case remaining portion shall be treated later on. Now polystyrene, this extruded one, heavy duty, as specified or some other material approved by engineer shall be laid onto and be covered by aggregate, paving slabs, flagstones as smooth finished tiles of concrete to act as walkway on roof, and sealant provided over chased roof torch in form of mastic or polysulfide or as specified, aluminum flashing paint as specified be applied for solar reflection. You have waterproofing ready. Now what is required? There are two items. One item is that whole area of roof is not required to walk. Walk by whom? Walk by those persons who shall come for maintenance of these machines or of roof. Those persons shall walk on certain area and shall not walk on certain area. Those areas which you think are accessible, it has to be shown on drawing, and those areas shall carry some walkable pavement. Otherwise, all areas shall be covered with aggregates. That's it. Means accessible and walkable area are to be paved, and those areas where no person is going to reach, that's going to be filled with aggregate. That's what is required. So I read it again. Simple. It is polystyrene. Polystyrene is extruded one, heavy duty, or some other material as approved, shall be laid on to and be covered by aggregate or paving slab. Aggregate where there is no access, no walking, and paving slabs or flagstones as smooth finished types of concrete to act as walkway on roof, and sealant provided over chased roof. The chasing was on parapet in form of mastic. You can fill polysulfide or mastic, whatever is given in section details, and aluminum flashing on that paint as specified by applied for solar reflection. Now to remember here, that false ceiling tiles cannot be installed. I'm going now to false ceiling tiles. Cannot be installed before roof water test is cleared, right? That's why so far only suspension system could be installed. We did not install ceiling tiles. We installed only suspension system. Similarly, all cable trays, trunkings, electrical items, these are cable trays, trunking, wiring for fire alarm system, for smoke detector system, and all systems needed for specifications above ceiling plumbing pipes and joints, chilled water pipes running above false ceiling, water pipes, gas pipes, all other services as detailed to be accommodated in above ceiling spaces should be brought to completion stage and clearance obtained by all discipline charges obtained from discipline charges from resident engineer so that final works in system of suspended ceiling be commenced. This is complex item. To start work of suspended ceiling, you cannot start this work until all services are finished. HVAC services, electrical services, water services, sanitary services, gas services, whatever services do pass through that volume, that plenum, those must be completed before you start your false ceiling tiling work. And these services must be obtained as approved in writing from resident engineers. And before that, if you do, it is on your risk. Then you have to take out tile again and system again to false the program. So do not take that. So gas pipes and water pipes and all of the services, whatever is there, you have to clear that. You know it all. I'm just trying to put in some system in writing so that you remember all time. You are all experts, I know. Once works above ceiling level are inspected and approved, then let false ceiling guy, false ceiling contractor go ahead with fixing in positions, approved tiles per details in approved reflected ceiling plans RCP. Okay, you have done ceiling. Now you have to accommodate surface services, ceiling surface services. The ceiling tiles, you have done it, but you have to work on parts of services on that. Supply and return air grills is HVAC we are talking of. Supply and return air grills, diffusers, splitters, and light fittings, luminaries, all to be installed in parallel of fixing ceiling tiles subject to availability of material. Fixed door panels, now coming somewhere else. This is for doors and windows. Fixed door panels, windows generally supplied in finished form and close all other openings simultaneously as in principle. False ceilings and other finishing items cannot be left exposed to weather. Hence, it is better to render building weatherproof before starting weather susceptible operations such as ceiling tiles, special paints, special floorings, rubber, epoxy, carpets, etc., and make building weatherproof to start these activities. Fix skylights. Fix skylights and ceiling bulkheads as detailed on drawings if required, and bulkheads frame be screwed to slab bulkheads. Because when there is a skylight on roof, means that is opening of slab, opening in slab, to let skylight rest on that. And lights then they have to provide a down type of framing. For that, that's called bulkhead. Because light has to come down and there should be no tile in that ceiling tile. That portion is cut out, you can say, in ceiling so that light transfers to area below. So fix skylight and ceiling bulkheads as detailed and be screwed to slab for support connection. Frame shall be made of mild steel section or fabricated rolled sections welded together to form hanger and asbestos screwable sheets we provided, or some other material asbestos is not acceptable, and then screwable sheets we provided in internal linings of bulkheads. All skylights must be closed from top. All skylights must be closed from top. Ends of ceiling tiles meeting at bulkheads shall be trimmed. Where these tiles from ceiling meet at bulkhead shall be trimmed well and spreaded, and separated timber piece well decorated be provided per architectural engineering consultant's approval. After this, flooring such as marble chips, tiles, cement concrete floor, mosaic floor, timber floors for squash courts, if any, epoxy floors, etc., shall be completed. All wall linings, wall linings to be finished according to specifications, and equipments installed for sports or or other purposes, special purposes. And remember that this stage the structural workload is finished on building, hence workforce to be diverted to external works for drainage, water mains and hydrants, fire mains and hydrants, irrigations, water supply, etc. And most of workforce should have been diverted much before. So you have plenty of area to work. Now there are elements of internal finishes and decoration, and external infrastructure and landscaping left to be completed. So many items are still there: internal finishes, decoration, you can say, external infrastructure, landscape, all these to be completed. Painting on internal surfaces specified per specification. Painting on internal surfaces, a specified one, shall be carried out an architectural architrav beads of opening finished. Cubicle means wet area units. The cubicle units to be completed in all respects, and light fixtures to be provided in position per details shown in reflected ceiling plans. Last items such as final touch to woodwork, painting, etc., and laying of fixing carpets, fixing mat wells as detailed to be carried out. Testing and commissioning. I am talking of testing and commissioning, and before that, which is done in mostly industrial projects as pre-commissioning. Pre-commissioning means is a stage where before doing any testing or something, you go to all locations as we discussed, to every room you go and see what is pending, what is not pending, what is a snag, what is punctures. You have to record all that, room wise room, wall by wall if possible, so that you know what work is left there. Of course, it is very minor, it's not big, but it is to be done. Because you have to put building to test or structure to testing. So you must know what is pending there. If you can done before testing, it will be done. Or if you think it can be completed or it will be completed after putting in, that is between you and an engineer or how to accept. But it must be known what is pending on in minor items. And that's pre-commissioning. So let us say pre-commissioning has been over. Teams have gone, engineers team, building services team, you to yourself, and gone and worked out and listed all this. That's called snags or punch list. testing and commissioning of air conditioning system or HVAC system, electrical engineering system, plumbing and drainage system, and whatever else shall be carried out as specified in project specifications, and all observations recorded in presence of engineers, resident engineers, specifications, specification specialists, consultants, engineers, all as formulated. Means all testing and commissioning must be done in presence of all, including resident engineer. Almost all items of buildings executed, have been executed, except snags and final touches. Deliver most of workforce to other areas. Your workforce shall go to other areas because you have done all work. Curbstones, now we are coming to landscape. Curbstones work, manhole, compaction, compaction of fillings, subgrade preparations, etc. shall be completed and road structures to be constructed. Snaggings as advised by resident engineer or employer to be remedied or rectified, and building shall be almost complete practically. In this explanation, an attempt has been made to bring to notice of yourself, of engineers, some of activities or operations as experienced in field, and it's not feasible to write such each and every operation, activity, nomenclatures, but it shall certainly act as a guide to provide wide range of activities in general for engineers on the threshold of engineering career, fresh or semi-experienced engineers and practicing architects, and engineers who have to coordinate allied services in field and fit in management team. This was about general items which are activities covered on ordinary buildings. There will be many more items now due to our advanced technology, CCTV, SCADA, or some other mobile connections or wireless connections, or so much there exists, which depends upon you, how you handle your site, how you interact with your other people, how you concentrate, how you interface also. It's not simply installation. There are many connections with different systems. You have to see interface of each other. Coordination is one part, interface is technical part, compatibility is one more part. All requires too much study. It's not simple blank we do. We have to think a lot before that. So if there's no limit, we can go on explaining all this very long at length, but minimum is minimum that is required. We'll discuss too much in future, but now I'll take another topic, and that is sport surfacing. Of course, it is old one, yet it must be known even if it's not working today, because basics is same. It is sports surfacing. We call this sport surfacing, and this is course line marking. Course line marking. Now it's number one, course line marking. If you see from finished sport surfacing, then number two is course painting in two courses orthogonally into each other. Number one is line marking. I'm telling sequence, though it is in opposite way, but finished sequence is that line marking number one, course painting number two, and that paint is in two codes orthogonally to each other. When I say orthogonally, this means at 90°. And you do one direction this way, then the other direction this way. And then number 3, it is resist speed in two codes applied orthogonally. When I say resin speed, this is a trade name for information. This is resin actually, which gives speed. Solid resin speed, a liquid, chemical, which smoothens surface. Alright. Then resin, one coat applied orthogonally to surface below and above. Then surfacer, one coat of cement paint mixed and painted perpendicular to primer. And primer, one coat applied uniformly on prepared base of concrete or asphalt concrete base. Then 7th is prepared base with defects rectified using patch binder. And last is concrete or bituminous surface, wearing surface as case may be. So we have to take it reverse now. Concrete or bitumen surface. Bitumen wearing surface number, which is your civil work. Then prepared base, that base of bitumen has to be prepared, the concrete is prepared to rectify defects. You may use patch binder, that chemical, for rectifying that. Surface is now ready for receiving your sports course for filling. This is hard coat, hard standing, and explained to not come for the standing. Then you have to apply primer, one coat. There's priming coat, then there's surfacer coat, then resin, then resist speed, then coats, surfacing, painting, and lining. This is reverse structure, is real structure of doing it. So what we are doing now, details of this proprietary work, it's called proprietary because this is not general specification. This is given by manufacturer of that material. That's why I'm calling it patent or proprietary work. How to say that? Just for information, I'm telling you that I supervised in 1985-86 this item. I was working on a project, very small project. It was having 5 schools, which are of course constructed. I was doing landscape of those schools. Landscape, internal and external. Very big school, 5 schools, you have to do landscapes. And in that time, so you have to do grass work, you have to do curbstones, you have to do road work, you have to do planting, you have to do sports course servicing, and seeds, and so much. You have to do many small items, not high-rise, it's landscaping work. You have to cover all unfinished areas by landscape. So sports court surfacing was one part of that. There were 5 courts in one school: football court, tennis court, handball, basketball, like this the one. And we had to do according to international dimensions, international standards, sports standards. So we got all that information through our tender or contract. We had to do that, but it was proprietary material. We had to get it through we got it from France. It was approved, but we did not know its activities, how to do it. That method statement was not available. In those days, method was got no meaning. People didn't know what the method statements, though they know how to do work, but there's nothing in writing. You used to call it specification. This is specification was one kind of method statement. In those days, I'm talking 1985, 86. Well, this doesn't matter. It's technology. Time teaches us. So one engineer came from France. He demonstrated to our people how to do it. He did one complete work of sports court. I was there also. I witnessed that. Training was given to our people, and I also learned something there. This man was very smart, dynamic one. We did not know that time how these people work. Tall guy, slim. Of course, we call an engineer, but they are experts in their work. That's why they are called engineer for that one. So what we did, I'm going to tell you that. Now, details of this proprietary work. Number 1, Mark coat surface on proposed base of concrete or bitumen. You have to define area of coat surface on that available road surface. Mark, make good all uneven spots. Make good all uneven spots and unacceptable surface by spreading patch binder supplied by manufacturer, and you have to do it in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Workforce. Workforce for this particular item of coat surfacing should wear special shoes as not to damage painted surface. Uniform for accepting paint splashes, safety glasses, hand gloves, etc. Means safety dress is must, along with safety shoes of different type. Equipment required are an air blower, paint switches, generally we call it wiper in our country, but it's called paint switches, SQUEEZE. Hard hand scrapers, hard sandpaper, paper tape or masking tape, games line instrument, small drum, light paint mixer, etc. And timings of operation to be decided by temperatures of area or considering temperatures in that area of work, and range permitted as indicated on manufacturer's instructions for temperature control at application time. Having prepared surface by patch binder, last day apply one coat of primer from ready-mix supplied paint, and spread by arm squeeze in direction parallel to small side of coat, and go on repeating till application covers whole surface of coat. Applier has to keep on moving with the squeeze held by one hand at its top and other near mid. Next day, stick paper or adhere paper tape along periphery on line marked so that applied paint material does not come outside periphery but goes on paper tape after crossing line of coat. Then clean surface by air blower and take out all loose materials if whatever, and clean all dust accumulated should weather be inclement. If weather is bad, do not proceed for this activity. You have to keep in mind what condition weather is that time. Mix surfacer paint with cement and water in required proportion and immediately start application on primed surface by arm squeezes, but in a direction perpendicular to direction of application of primer, and continue till whole surface is completed. Only mix as much surfacer as required. Finish coat, because extra quantity, if left, shall be wasted. This is one day. Next day, clean surface, make good defects, if any, observed during application of surfacer, and proceed for application of resin coat in direction perpendicular to previous day coat. Moment of squeeze shall remain as it was before. Next day now, clean again and apply one coat of resin speed in a direction perpendicular to direction of top coat of resin, and then apply second coat of resin speed perpendicular to first coat. Next day, clean surface of resin speed again and check. Should some repairs be required, and make good with resin speed if so. Paint coats shall be applied very carefully. Apply first coat perpendicular to previous coat of resin speed and finish complete surface very smoothly, making a note that no overlapping signs during movement of squeeges are visible, no overlapping signs. After a few hours, or when first coat dries out completely, apply second or top coat to a pleasing and very smooth outlook. So there are many days. I said next day, next day, next day, next day, like that. Then we'll go. We have started painting surface now. Now make sure that all post hole sockets, etc. for holding net frame are embedded. There's a post and the hole for that and socket for that. Holding net frame are embedded in grouted and in positions before surfacer application. Next day, take out paper tape and a straight line periphery of a smooth coat surface is available to render a pleasant look. Course lining, start marking layout carefully and mark center line of course linings. I'm not talking of course lining, this is very important one. Start marking layout carefully and mark center line of course lining. Install 2 rolls of 50 mm wide paper tape on game line instrument. I explained to you game line, which shall actually help in laying this paint. White paper tape on game lines instrument and move instrument following lining center line marks to marks till paper tape is spread on complete lining. Now take a small brush and apply white or yellow or whatever other color is specified and supplied with consignment in space between 2 paper tapes adhere to painted surface in complete length of course linings. Apply paint in 2 coats as provided in specification or as instructionally specified. Next day, remove paper tape and coat line markings are ready. Generally, green or red color are used in sports coats painting, while white or yellow shall be used for lining. Sizes of coats and lining design shall be governed per provisions made in codes of International Sports Association. Details for that shall be supplied by engineer or standard approved society of sports. Codes shall not be open to use same day. Install equipments as specified. Erect chain link fencing or any other fence approved. Details to be given in engineer's design. There are generally two systems in sports course surfacing. It was that time high standing system, comfort system. Thickness number one. Thickness number one shall be much less than number two. Number one is high standing system. Number one is comfort system. Shall be epoxy flooring is also there. Is 1.5 mm and 3 mm thick epoxy flooring. I'm going to tell about that. Epoxy flooring, what is there, why it is there. Course we have talked about. Epoxy flooring is also very important and a significant one because epoxy is very expensive material like surfacing material. You cannot waste it. It is very thin, 1.5 mm, 3 mm, and it is required. It's very durable. It's water resistant. It's wear resistance. It can take surface wear very well. So we have to be very careful. We have to prepare room to requirement, and this was also done by that engineer who came because he also delivered this material and he trained our people in epoxy flooring. And I was also, with that time I was also there, and we got learning from this. And I'll now go to tell you, I'll move to tell you what we did here in epoxy flooring. Very few activities in that, not that much, and after I finish that, we will start something else, and that is a type of contracts, and as much as we can do, and I'll try to show you certain sketches before that, probably, before completing this. Now, sorry, after completing this, I'm now stating epoxy flooring, and it is 1.5 mm and 3 mm thickness. Epoxy flooring. It shall be provided in situations and locations where resistance to wear and tear, to acids, means resistance to acids, resistant to abrasion, and resistant to oil, and where huge strong strokes are required. Once again, locations. Resistance to wear, where you need the property of surface, which is good in resistance to wear and tear, resistant to acid attacks, resistant to abrasions, resistant to oil, and it should be very strong for storing purpose or warehouse purpose. Warehouse is also stored. Now I'm going to talk to you about 1.5 mm thick first. Surface etching, ETCHING. Concrete surface, because inside we are talking, it is concrete surface, it's not road surface. Concrete surface to be given an epoxy covering, you can call it covering. Concrete surface to be given an epoxy covering shall be etched either by scabbling hammer or by spreading a solution of 10% concentration of hydrochloric acid that is mixed in water 3 times quantity of acid, and tested before application whether solution etches surface. Again I speak because this is technical. Concrete surface to be given an epoxy cover shall be etched either by scabbling hammer or by spreading a solution of 10% concentration of hydrochloric acid. mixed in water, hydrochloric acid mixed in water, 3 times quantity and tested before application, where solution catches surface. After spreading solution, after spreading the solution of acid, immediately apply clear water. Immediately apply clear water to dispose of acid solution after etching to prevent any further damage to concrete is done. After etching is done, you cannot damage this existing concrete any further. After this, get a heavy duty mixing apparatus. We have to mix the epoxy material for purpose of application. Sorry. Get a heavy duty mixing apparatus. Electrically operated and epoxy paint to be stirred in container of paint. In paint container itself you can mix it, you can stir it. Person handling should use eye protection and wear gloves. Then adhere paper tape to confining limits of floor area and apply paint on etched surface. And then spread silicone powder covering all surface and also in excess before paint dry out. You have to clear first scabble by using acid etching, hydrochloric acid 10% calories, then apply tapes in this area where to do it so that it doesn't affect other areas, and then you can apply the surface of roughened area by your paints epoxy one and apply on that. Wash out that area. That area must wash out. This Alright, so we apply floor area with paint, and on that spread silicone powder, which also is supplied by manufacturers, and thoroughly spread that on that surface. After specified hours, and that is per manufacturer's instructions, remove extra powder from surface and apply 2 coats of stud paint as specified, and no one shall be allowed to enter area that day. Next day, take out paper tape. This is for epoxy flooring. Once you take out paper tape, your flooring is ready. Because this is automatic, this auto healing or this auto curing. No curing is required. This epoxy. 3 mm thick flooring. Actually, what I'm telling you, 1.5 mm, this is like a coating, but 3 mm is heavy duty. Where your warehouse or your something else, 3 mm is a must, and let's see. Now, surface etching and mixing is same as we did before. Procedure as mentioned above in this 1.5 mm, number 1 and number 2, surface etching and mixing. This is also good for this case. Instead of spreading silicone powder, silicone oxide shall be spread. Instead of spreading silicone powder, silicone oxide, spread aluminum oxide. In 1.5 mm thick, we spread silicone oxide, whereas In this case, well, spread aluminum oxide. After a few hours, as indicated for manufacturer's instruction, remove aluminum extra aluminum oxide and apply one more coat of epoxy paint. You have to apply epoxy paint and spread silicone powder before paint dries out. So it is same application as graphic, but in between, but below this final paint of silicone oxide, you have to apply ammon aluminum oxide. This aluminum oxide to be applied there. Apply one more coat of epoxy paint and spread silicone powder before paint dries out. Say apply one more coat of epoxy paint until the second layer we are talking. One more coat of epoxy paint and spread silicone powder before paint dries out. Remove powder in excess if it is there. Of course it will be there. Remove powder in excess and apply first coat and then final coat. Remove paper, tape. Flooring is done very limited and flooring is done. Remove powder in excess and apply first coat and then final coat. Remove paper tape from floor area and floorings are ready. There are some concrete mixtures we'll talk of. Now this flooring is very expensive and should be used to limited extent. In construction world, various chemicals are used and for decades these are being used. Many more are coming and only those people are well expert in this who are either dealing with construction chemicals or ready mix plant who are doing concrete related admixtures or chemicals. Maybe we are not clear about that, but doesn't matter. You're clear or not clear. Some knowledge is better. But what sort of construction? At that time I have recorded in those days when I wrote this book in 1992 to 1996. It took me long time. Plasticizers, super plasticizer, releasing agent or release agent, that's called shutting oil, curing compound, air entraining and foaming agents, waterproofers, surface retarders, accelerating agents, grouts and mortar admixtures, bituminous coating, especially products, repair compounds, grouts, sealers, premier bonding, protective coating, and flooring systems. These auxiliaries or concrete admixtures or auxiliaries and resin systems shall be used or are used in different quantities and different ratios to form character of structural concrete, meeting concrete states, namely improvement in workability, enhancing initial setting time of concrete, quick setting, improvement in striking concrete forms, or de-shuttering or removal of shutters operations, improved curing methods, attaining concrete leak-proof corner concrete repair systems. These systems and auxiliaries shall be strictly used according to instructions provided by manufacturer after approval given by project engineer or owners appointed engineering technocrats. These are very simple in this fact. Now, before going further on jumping into contracts and other items, I like to share with you actual a lot of work done on that manually by me. First of all, I'll show you certain snaps which we did in 1985. It was in Doha. I'll go one by one so that you understand well. Of course, it's not like today. It's black and white sketches. As you can say, this is a site of a school that was done in those days. I was site teaching to it. This is Boys Preparatory School in Qatar. This is Preparatory School with one. I think it was based on working stress method designs. It was having 14 classrooms, I remember, laboratories, assembly hall, which was having about 18 meters of span. Beam of that was around 1.25 meters. Assembly halls long one, and this was one sketch. Tower crane is seen there, you can see columns and see that time there was no safety issue, no quality issue. Only one man was there to do job with site engineers. One man was called site agent, other associates, and they were consultants, and that's all. This is that world. If you go to the next one, you'll find here I have written, in fact, just to explain, I have written here description of this sketch. It's a plate I use called plate, and this is preparatory formwork for suspended floor slab in progress. Columns poured up to beams of it level approximately a few centimeters below. Then centering and form material lying here and there around, which is not good. The site is not tidy. At that time, we did also all this. One slab ready for pouring and being given final touch, and concrete mobile pump taking position by adjusting pump boom and its own body to cover maximum area of proposed pour without shifting station if possible, but not necessary. Rock breaker. Rock breaker machine is excavating rocky area. It's very rocky area here. All Qatar is rocky area in most cases. Claustra blocks, which is known as cast blocks. Claustra blocks, screen wall is visible in substation building in view, and form of capping beam of a boundary wall is ready for concreting. Water-filled drums can be seen on floor near proposed pour. Steel reinforcement for connection to steel beams have been left in form of dowels. Bitumen painted surface is clearly visible in view. Surface of ground floor already poured is visible in view. Scaffold joints for beams have been graphed in view. This is a view of this plate. I'll show you again so that if I spoken, you will know what I've spoken actually. You can see that here. You can see this is that, and this is you may see here that I can't actually do it. You can see this is your substation. This kind of excavator is there, and one is there, and these are columns, and these are all untidy site. Here the slab under preparation, and this here is you can say tower crane is seen. People are here and there, and I explained you. I mean, I'll go to other plate. And in this place, I'll first read what I have written and then I'll show you this one. It is as concrete pump mobile one receiving ready mix concrete from transit mixer, transit concrete truck of 6 cubic meter capacity, and pump by reciprocation. You can't see from it. Let me see it like this. First, the diagrams. Concrete, concrete, uh, concrete pump mobile receiving ready mix concrete from transit concrete truck come capacity, and pump by reciprocating action pushes the mix to pouring place, and boom pouring place through boom as graphed in view. Level surface of pour and compacted concrete is visible in view. Planter beds to contain sweet soil have been graphed in view. Form material after being struck, struck lying astray in view. Boom of rock breaker machine is being seen. So you can say this way. This is pump pump boom here. This is transit mixer of concrete 6 cubic meter capacity. It is stationed here, your mobile pump, and this is hydraulic jacks here. This is concrete here. This is prepared surface, and these are all supporting system. These are planter beds of that area, and this another part, and you can see this way. Planter bed, mobile pump here. Maybe you have not seen mobile pump here. Maybe luckily you have seen, and people are standing there on slab preparatory works, and you can see these scandalings, timber pieces, supporting system, and this is your transit truck, and you closely see, and these planter beds are also there, blockwork beds on which plants shall be done, and also I'll give a close or previous plate also give a close by just to explain to you what it was here. Better if I explain like this so that it's good for you to understand, With this last one, here this is you can say this is a column, this column and this column, and this is excavator rock breaker. This is a substation done there. It's all preparatory work going on. The same slab which is here. This is all tied, untied this side here. People are walking. And this is the first plate I showed you. So just again I showed to you for your clear reference. And I'll go to third plate now, which is I'll read first what it is about. This is plate 3, and this says that concrete pouring operations in progress by pump. Concrete pouring operations, I'll tell you. Concrete, this is difficult actually. Concrete pouring operations in progress by pump. Pour the concrete leveled. People controlling rubber pipe and compaction. Electrical conduits of PVC visible and connected between junctions and bends. And finally, electrical conduits visible. This is, wait a minute. And finally, approved concrete covers or spacers have been positioned so as to render reinforcement placement good. Construction joint made before commencement of operation. A small steel column originating from this level for face parapet support in view. So it is that, you can see this work. It's a blow up. You can see this concrete down exit, concrete outlet here from pump. You see your pump boom here. This pump boom. Concrete comes with great pressure from this pump, and people are standing there, and no helmets this time, no safety shoes. Only gum shoes were the ordinary dresses. But this time there was no safety concern, and you can see this reinforcement as columns. These are actually planted columns. Maybe other columns are maybe coming from below, and this is your slab. So these columns are planted one, because there will be some structure about this. These two columns or three columns, whatever is seen, they're planted columns. The well design is nothing to do with this. You can see white runs. These are all PVC pipes, and these you see beams, and this is all called suspended slab with downstep beams and monolithic casting. It is called at one corner. They are all people standing and working, and this is 86, 1985, 86, you can say, or maybe 87, I don't exactly, 86, yes, it is 86, I was there at that time. I'll move further then. And this is, let me read first. It's difficult otherwise, you know. Okay, no problem. I can show like this. Plate 4. Plate 4. Let you see first, and then I think it's difficult to tell like that. You can there's a concrete pump standing, and planters are there, and this side, this is this is you can see this one. This is assembly hall, and this is a workshop slab, and this side, these are classroom areas, and this is a pump, concrete pump, and this is all other structures here. I read it for you now. One part on one part of site, steel reinforcement fabrication in progress in columns, curing in progress on previous poured slab, where Hessian is shown spread. Final cleaning operation of completed preparatory works of proposed slab are going on. There's a problem. On one part of site is steel reinforcement, fabrication in progress in column, right? This is here, you can say in columns, curing in progress, this is curing in progress here, curing in progress, pour the slab where Hessian is shown, spread, final cleaning operation of completed preparatory works of proposed slab are going on. You can see that, all right. Concrete pump has arrived, this is that, arrived on site. Concrete bucket is kept on site only for emergency. Concrete did not arrive till now. Concrete did not arrive till now. Okay. I can't read that way. Concrete bucket skips control. Concrete did not arrive till now. Gang people are getting ready. Gang means crew. Smaller roller compactor is also lying there but not needed at this moment. There appears that the site is not working to its full potential due to off-limb timing, and concrete is being poured on overtime. Rock hammer is working behind, so you can see once again in close up. This is what I'm talking about. This is you have completed the slab on this side. This is your completed slab. This is your machine pump, and this is your portion. You're already done. It will be done. Prepared works. These are all prepared works, and this side is all columns. These are planter beds, and you can see skip is here, not required, but slab here for some emergency. So like that, this is I'll move to further one. That is, you can see poured columns. Now let's see the poured columns. So I read now. These all columns in one go. We did that in those days in 1986. Big, this is assembly hall columns. You can see the space between column to column, big one, 18 meters slab, 18 meters span of columns, and in one see this is 18 meters per column. Like it for this is You can see both columns. These are port columns. All these are port columns. You can see port columns up to beam, and this is beam. This is a port columns up to beam soffit level. Some columns exhibiting surface defects, dowels of beams are in position. See, this one, certain columns are there. Some form work is in completed form are visible. Some preparatory works for mid-level beams are going on. Generator, shed, and generator are visible because these are columns here which have this ground, grade slab, this other column there, some reinforcement is here, and whole site is there, and this is all untied area bus. This is ongoing like this. Purpose was to show this one. Now, so on the one, this is a location of casting. Again, same thing as in the casting one, and then you can see I'm standing here. I think, yeah, this is myself here. I'm standing here with cap only, no half. That time there's no mandatory, and people didn't use. This is bad, of course. That time it's like this, What can I do? And I did this. This is assess a view of concrete pour operation from near pouring spot. People of concrete crew holding rubber pipe, you can say, boom of pump, and placing concrete uniformly. Pipe of vibrator through which compressed air is supplied, is controlled by gang person, by crew person, and the compressor installed on ground, and concrete covers. You can see here some blocks. You see these are conduit pipes. Actually, these are conduit pipes. These are people here, crew. This is concrete being done. They are pouring at this location. This is chute pipe, boom pipe from pump, and these are concrete spacers. So it is obvious this is done too fast to pressure. What they are doing, they are pouring into this beam, and then all that. And coming on to the next one slide is this. The plate 7. I'll just give glimpse first of all. This is having the sides, so the rebar and graded slab and manholes. You can see the manholes, and this is pipeline excavation. This is all rocky area, and this is what that is. And I read how this is. This is rebars of columns. This is graded slab. These are manholes here. These are other buildings. Same area, but this all plant manhole plants, and this is a pipe excavation. Then and this all boundary wall, that area. Everything here. In this view, you can see completed laying operations of sewerage line of external works under backfilling. Under backfilling stopped operation, the construction of manholes wall have been over. View also shows in blockouts fixed during ground floor operations of pouring for sanitary or other services connections. View also includes some portion of prefabricated mesh BRC on left. BRC is name of company. Works on columns in progress. Beams preparatory works in progress made up from plates, graft form, and centering material in view. Tower crane in view. So you can see that. This is a special thing. This is the manholes is a vital line, and you can see all that here. Once again, I'll show you this one. I'll go to the next one now. And the lookup on the side here. See manholes, see slabs already cast, see preparation under, and all that. People are using materials lying here. And I'll read for you this one. This one is Preparation for final pouring of slab over pumperized steel column fabrication going on. Crane and rock breakers in view. And this is here. This is tower crane. This is slab already cast. This is preparation work. These are all columns done. This is the manholes, and this is all work around this side. This is a planter beds, etc. And you can see we'll go further on this. Once again, have a look on this for purpose of your show. And then we go further down to the other structure, foundation, mosque building in Doha. The same school building is mosque one. You can see slab beams have been poured down. The boundary wall is also seen. And we call it some foundation straps and reinforcements. This foundation straps and reinforcement here. These are all isolated footings, spread footings. And this supports the amount. Move further down to other one. Purpose of my showing the sketches means fast work, and then there are various machines. I'm not going to show the machines, no even machines, but machines are not anymore. My purpose is different one. So I am showing you some location sketches which are more important. They're practical point of view. These are not photographs actually, they are sketches which I drew. The sketches are here. Sketches means how to work on layouts and others, how to do site work on layouts. This you can read is all manually drafted. All manually drafted or written by pen, ball pen. All sketches. No computer, nothing. Just one scale and paper and pen, ball pen. And this page is for this page is sketch 1, I think the page. Setting out, I'll read the sketches first, what number of sketches there. Sketch number 1, setting out plan of building with reflected slab grid plan. Then 2 is setting out plan with footings and plinth beams and form plan. Then 3 is form plan while engineer is on higher level for inspection. 4th is setting out plan for land surveyor and reflected ceiling plan. And number 5 is typical plan of setting of a complex architectural building along with reflection of forms, and setting out plan on commencement while on 0 level. Reflected form plan of sketch 6, I'll say setting, okay. Then reflected ceiling plan is also there. Reflected formula, setting out plan on ground for engineer's inspection. Reflected form plan of sketch 8. Then 10 is typical form plan, work plan of a footing in one stage and a stop column in another stage. Then 11 is section ABB CCA for sketch 10. Then 12 is setting out plan of column size 600 by 600 millimeter spacing, 5000 millimeter center to center both directions, and typically preparatory checking and inspection of a simple column. Then 13 is typical details for checking and inspection of a column form. And 14 is typical details, the elevation of 100 mm column side. And then 15 is setting out of columns from general arrangement and layout plans of building in compact. Then 16 is setting out plans for columns at any level from general arrangement details using string or thread. Then 17 is typical form work of a rectangular column. Then 18 is elevation of 1000 mm size plate of a column form. Then 19 is typical detail in plan of L-shaped column form. Then 20 is elevation of sketch 19. And 21 is elevation of 900 mm side plate. Then 22 is typical form work plan of T-shaped columns. 23 is elevation of sketch 21, and 24 is elevation of 1200 mm side plate. 25 is elevation 300, 600, 300 mm side, and 26 is typical plan details of plus shape column. 27 is elevation of sketch. 26 300, 600, 300 mm, and 28 is typical plan of a wall for work. 29 is typical sectional elevation of 150 mm thick wall RCC, and 30 is typical elevation 150 mm thick RCC wall formwork, and 31 is typical elevator lift well 2 meter by 2 meter or 2000 mm by 2000 mm assumed plan details. Lift 32 is lift formwork elevation A1, 33 is lift formwork elevation B1, 34 is lift formwork elevation C1, 35 is lift formwork elevation A, 36 is lift formwork elevation B, 37 is lift formwork elevation C, and 38 is elevator lift door void form typical. 39 is typical form plan of a rectangular pentagonal column 500 mm side. 40 is typical form plan of a regular hexagonal column 500 mm side. 41 is typical form plan of a regular octagonal column 500 mm side. 42 is typical formwork plan of a column turned obtuse. 43 is typical details of formwork of different stages of concrete castings in situ for a complex fascia virtually operated in modern building. And 44 is typical details of formwork to be erected for same fascia above a window opening for air condition accommodation in a modern building. And 45 is typical details of formwork of fascia in facade, and typical form details of staircase. And this 46 to 48 typical form details of a staircase, and 49 to 50 typical slab form details. This is a list of some sketches that I'm going to show you. This is sketch 1 to 50, layouts and preparatory formworks, typical for general knowledge. This is first handwritten, no computer, nothing, and not to scale, just complete rough work. Using one scale, one ball pen or pencil, and inked on that. And this package is all same. I'll show these sketches. These are very practical sketches you will not find elsewhere. And this is inside your cover of this book, Civil Engineering in Practice, which is very old book. And I don't know how much time I have left now. I'll show you some sketches. I'll keep continuing later on. Let's see. This is number 1. Which I have showed before. This is number 1. Page number 1 here. And then go to page number 2 of this sketch. Right, and I'll go to page number 2, then I'll go to other one. Okay. The one by I'm showing this for information only. You cannot know details like this, but you have just a glimpse of this. In fact, It's a lift. I think it's a lift. It's also wall of lift. Maybe this wall of lift. And then it's also same. This maybe column here. Elevation of this. The other one, the same plan. And then it's various sketches. I'm just trying to show you is what is done in that and how it should be done. I cannot explain you every sketch because it's not possible. You can see, you want to see, you have to refer to book. It's not possible to show here. It's very, very manual work, no computers there. It's up to you. No force there. It's up to your choice if you want or don't want. I can't help it. Cancel out. Same thing there. A lot of sketches, means a lot of sketches you might not have seen in life. So many sketches are there. These are all same elevations. I'm trying to show as much as I can show just for information purpose, nothing else. Just think I what quantum of what was done that time. Just think of that, that's important. All those sketch 50 at the top, I'm showing those. Face, yeah. Stay, stay. Oh, stay. Just from the slab, looks like that. And, well, I lost out, and then I will sketch 51, 51 to 51 to 134. In next one, I'll take all this after considering many other issues. This I just show to you for purpose of explaining to you what in all this, and this is this one. Now, I conclude this by today's talk by just requesting that building practice is not that simple. Maybe in our great Bharat, it is simple. Here, everybody, every mason, every carpenter, every person, every layman who knows nothing about ABCD of construction becomes a promoter, becomes a builder, becomes a contractor, and becomes everything great. We are professionals without any qualifications. We are professional businessmen without any academics. We know everything. This is great character of our society, and we accept them. Generally, public believe in carpenter, mason, steel fixer, or tradespeople, or a man who knows nothing about ABCD of construction. But if you tell them something, they will say no because he wants money. This happened with me many times. I don't mind that. I am not hungry of these jobs. If people do not trust professionals, people do not value professionals, and engineers are in fact not respected in this country. This is also a fact. Engineers are considered aliens. They are considered redundant. Architect is considered very valuable, very valuable, as if nothing can move without work of architectural. Engineer is considered as if something unknown. I can't help it. Structural engineer, field engineer, all engineers, they are considered additional. Why to raise cost of building? Yes, don't raise cost of building. Spoil your foundation, spoil your formation level, spoil your concrete, spoil your reinforcing steel, spoil everything. Make your building a graveyard for future. You are welcome. Enjoy your graveyard. What can I say? This is fact of life. You can't help people. And even great companies, they don't care. Safety, what is safety? I never heard what is safety. Health, I am healthy. Hmm. Oh, everything is clean. As housekeeping, everywhere site is tidy, untidy, clean, not clean. People fall, accidents do happen, no problem. Environment, I'm not responsible for environment. It's not my job. Ergonomics, what is that? Ergonomics, never heard ergonomics. You are telling me first time. It's not my problem, my dear. It's problem of ours. Problem of those who are professionals. Problem of those who are professionals, because only professionals, that is engineering professionals, do not care for engineering and nation. Judges care for everything, advocates care for everything, authors care for everything, except extraordinary, outstanding community is engineer, who is always ignored. And because engineer is ignored, engineers themselves ignore themselves. That's it. Engineers always keep themselves within bending moment, shear force, moment of resistance, firefighting issues, loads coming, software, they keep themselves within that. They do not want to encroach into other arena, and this world is not specifically disciplined world. You have to interact with all, and that is the reason engineers are ignored, and they shall be kept ignored forever, because they are only engineers, not coordinators, not liaisoners, not communicators. They are left in their own world, which world actually is superficial, is extraordinarily weak, and they can no move, they can never move. This is my observation. They may be having whatever title, like I am having whatever title. I am having international professional engineer title, chartered engineer title, FI title, but I have never seen in any ad somewhere, in any eligibility of criteria, nowhere that my requirement exists. And that is my welcome in this country, and that is welcome of all civil engineers in this country. That is the reason I'm talking here, because you have to force this country to use you, but you shall not force. Architects have beautiful nation, they have beautiful parliament, and parliament has beautiful. We have our institution of engineers, which is silent, which has been silent since 1935, and busy only in seminars, conferences, journals, and examinations, without thinking about applications of engineering, in fact, formally. Well, I have nothing to say about that. I'm not in charge of institution. They have to take their care. But so far I have understood, it's not to that level. And many other institutions are coming up. They're all same, no difference. They just want to sell themselves professional. They want to professional engineering college, engineering council, and all that. I least bother about all these, because there is no chartered move. There is no statutory move. Just talks and talks. I have been involved with this talk for more than 15, 16 years. No output. Just only something to talk and leave, attend some seminar and leave, attend some congress and leave. After enjoy, take some food, refreshment, lunch or that, and come back home, get their literature, get their catalog and read that. But that is not engineering. Engineering, technology, engineering power must reach to people of this country, to lowest person of this country. But that is not reaching. You go and see buildings, how these are being constructed, ordinary buildings, bring, even in government buildings, you can see that. I take all them equal. People do not understand any quality point, quality facts. They do not consider safety. They do not consider environment issue. They do not consider what ergonomics, just as if they are moving for sake of moving. What is honeycombing? People don't care. What is void and concrete? People don't care. What is value of steel? People don't care. What is value of rust or no value of rust on steel bar? People don't care. How to protect it? People don't care. How shutting should be done? People don't care. How alignment should be checked? People don't care. How plumb should be checked? People don't care. What surface should be? People don't care. What sort of plaster we should do? People don't care. Just go and doing as much as you can do. And if building falls, no problem. It has been because of nature. When something happens because of nature, some ghost was there, it came and blew it. This is our general tendency. It's not criticism. If you speak facts and people call it criticism, okay, I accept that. I can't help it because you are not helping me. And if you are not helping me, I cannot help you. If you do not want good buildings, good structures, it's not my problem. It's problem of nation. There are politicians, there are parliamentarians, there are government people, they are not interested in engineering, and they forget that it is engineering world, civil engineering world, construction that consumes 70% of your budget every year. It may be state budget or it may be central budget or home budget. If you construct your house, you're spending whole life earning, and you are throwing that as if it's no value. You are able to spoil steel, you don't care, it costs lakhs of rupees. You are buying bricks which are no use, just this color, this dimension, bad bricks, 4th, 5th class, I don't know which class. You are using mortar as if this is just like a atta for khana. Nobody cares, says. Engineers don't care, foremen don't care, supervisors don't care, workers don't care. I don't know who shall care. Some alien has to come from Mars or Jupiter to teach you. That's only way. I am helpless to teach you because you are not supporting me. And engineers are not supporting engineers. That's ultimate truth. That is ultimate, ultra truth. Engineers they are engineers for themselves, within themselves. They are busy on their products. They are busy, they are in jobs, they are busy in their jobs, in the government jobs, private jobs. If they are in mechanical, electrical, something else, they are busy in their world, talking, selling their matter. Fine, that's your business, that's your job, your profession, no problem for that. But knowledge, mobility absence. Knowledge is not even moving among fraternity. Yes, there are research papers coming from IITs which do not have any practical value. There are books written in such dimensions that practically no value. Engineers are designing in such a way there's a practically no value because design is not being implemented. It's not implemented. So what's the function of the design? Quality people are checking for purpose of checking, purpose of certification, purpose of documentation, and safety guys just come and, hey, you're not done this, that's all. And even sometimes safety people are not available. Nobody bothers for somebody, and somebody doesn't bother for anybody. This is our great Bharat. It's not criticism, it's a factual statement. But you have to open your eyes as public. You have to open your ears as public. You have to open your mouth as public. And on top of that, you have to open your mind. That is most important. You may be public, or you may be public engineer. You may be private government engineer, or you may be whosoever. You may be student. You have to change your culture, thinking culture, working culture, professional culture, and be open to society. No question of degradation or hesitation. Why question that? There's no such question. Frankness is important in this age. You have to explain to everybody what should be done. And if you cannot explain, then there is no way out. You have to speak truth. If you cannot speak truth, you cannot be professional, because people want you crushed for their sake. They don't want to move. This is only profession in which huge amount is consumed. That building or structure, very expensive one. You have to spend whole life earning, and if you don't get what you expect or what should be done, and nobody tells you, that you are in doldrum, you will spend your money without even understanding for what you spend. Extra expenses on material, with no quality, extra expenses everywhere with no expected quality, expected safety, durability, reliability. So we have to be careful. This is only purpose. I am talking to public about what is done, what is not done. It's not myself alone that can solve this problem. I am nothing. It's the whole public and engineering fraternity that must take care. Times have gone, world has changed. Quality can be maintained in our neighboring country like Gulf, Middle East. Why we cannot maintain it? Why do we fail? It is a question that we have to ask ourselves. Quality can be maintained in UAE to some extent. It can be maintained in Qatar to some extent. It was very strictly maintained in Iraq, and it can be maintained elsewhere. Yes, I know there are countries which are not caring for this, but there are countries which are very well caring for this. So why don't we understand this? Why do you take it so easily and waste world resources? It's not so question of you are paying for that. You're not paying for real resources. You're paying for services from the resources. So what I say, we have to be careful about that. And with this, I like to close it now and take further talks in coming time, maybe tomorrow, next one. And I want to explain whatever I have on that. And furthermore, I'll keep talking on other issues, other management aspects. Various talks are expected to be conducted in future, keeping in mind at least knowledge should go to people. It's up to them. They watch it, they don't watch it. No one can force them. It's not entertainment. Again, I'm telling, it's not poem, it's no joke, it's no story, it's no fiction. It's reality, hard facts of life. And if you just want entertainment, I am not that joker. I'm not that person. If you want seriousness, you can be with me. You can listen or do whatever you want. If you want, okay, take it easy going, take it easy going. I'm not losing anything. I am doing my duty. As to an extent I can do, I can do. After that, it is your job. Thank you very much.